All right, welcome back to 5 Plus tonight. We're here on OpenLine where we are asking the expert tonight, Rebecca Roberts with Creekside at Three Rivers, joining us this evening. And we're talking about, I think a subject that we can all relate to is assisted living. And we've already kind of gotten into this topic a little bit tonight. If you're just joining with us this evening, we talked a little bit about all the things that Creekside has to offer. And now I kind of want Rebecca to break down, you all offer the assisted living and then you also offer the memory care.
Right.
So what I'd like, walk me through a typical day at the assisted living facility.
As far as they have different activities during the day. A lot of our residents, they love bingo. A lot of them, we have what we call a Tin Hut Club, which is for our veterans. We have just different clubs. We have different organizations that come in and they volunteer. We have music, we have churches that come in. We have just different things to stimulate everybody's interest.
I was going to say the activities are endless,
right?
It sounds like a blast.
Yes,
you all keep it moving. I like that.
And plus we have what we call happy hour. We celebrate one person out of the whole facility in that happy hour. They go on trips, like I said. They went on, I think they went on a picnic, the other day. They were leaving, they go to Walmart. They go mall. They go everywhere. So they really have a lot of fun. They have a lot of fun.
There's no such thing as boredom, apparently. Creekside. Well, that's great to hear. I think, and to the families, when you see your loved one thriving in a facility like that, that is very important. And that's just yet another, point of, assisted living done right, I think.
Right.
And then switching gears to the other side of what you all offer, and that is memory care. Break down a little bit. Now that's different. That's going to be more structured, and also I do want to hear in a little bit, we're going to talk about that you do have a physician available. So let's talk about the memory care unit.
The memory care unit, it is a little bit different from our assisted living. Of course, with their deficit that they have, they can't focus on one thing for an hour like somebody might could in the AL part. So they do structure things around. They might still play bingo, but instead of like B1 or B5 or or something like that, it would be more like red or yellow or something that gets their senses going. We have what we call sit and fit. It's exercising, but you're sitting. So any kind of movement that they can do, bending down, reaching up. They do watercolors. They do all kinds of crafts, and it just depends on how bad their deficits are, is what crafts that they do. So if Miss A over here is different from Miss B here with their deficits, Miss A and Miss B have totally different crafts that they do, and one to both stimulate what they both can do.
When you sit back and you kind of, watch this as it's happening, your just personal opinion, do you see improvements? Do you see, what are you seeing?
I do, and we do, everybody does have, days that, they're just like, no, I don't want to do that.
I have those days too.
Right, everybody does. So, it just depends on the day, and it just depends on, if that is something that they like to do. And we do try and incorporate, we talk to the families and we talk to the, different friends and, people that they've grown up with and people that they've raised and, stuff like that, to understand what, what Miss A did like to do. And maybe we could kind of focus what she liked to do into a craft that, or an activity that they're doing that day. If we have a resident now, she loves to bake. She loves to bake. So, that's one of the things that we try and incorporate a lot of the time is, baking and decorating cupcakes and, and stuff like that. And she really lights up with that, so.
I think it is outstanding to hear that overall your facility, you're basically, fitting the needs to the individual instead of everyone doing the same groups. That's what I'm taking from the things you're telling me. You know, I mean, I think that's definitely you know, something I can see where that, you know, you'll see improvements in the individual. You know, they may be small, they may be huge leaps, but overall they're getting the care they need. And kind of along those lines of care, let's talk about the fact that you all do have a physician that's there on hand available to your residents. Tell me how, and that's important.
Right. We have 2 nurse practitioners that come twice a week, and they are directly linked to a physician. They are all, when they're not there, you know, the nurses can get to them, you know, via telephone anytime they need. So, you know, if Miss So-and-so is sick, you know, we can get something started right away, so she doesn't have to, you know, go through that whole rigmarole about getting the doctor, waiting for the doctor to get there and stuff, and get something started.
You know, and along the lines of you know, different angles or approaches to take to, you know, keep the folks there at your assisted living facility, you know, just enjoying themselves to the best, you know, of your capabilities to keep them engaged and excited. And one thing that's interesting here I did want to talk about tonight that you all do is the many benefits of pets. I mean, animals are really just, that's a way of therapy, very therapeutic in itself. So you do all provide that? Yes. Wow, tell me more about that.
We are a very pet-friendly community. We do have a lot of dogs and cats, actually, and we also have therapy dogs that come in on the weekend. And pets, you know, they are, like you said, they are very therapeutic. They are a stress reliever. They are, you know, if a family or if a person is there, you know, by themselves, you know, they're a companion. They're, you know, somebody, you know, that they can talk to, that they can, you know, that they can interact with, you know, and it keeps them mobile, and it keeps them, you know, they have to take them for walks and, you know, and stuff like that. So it's kind of an exercise too, for them, to the ones that do have the pets in their rooms, in their apartments. But yeah, we have therapy dogs that come. They service ALs, our assisted living, and our memory care, and they love them.
What do you see when the animals, you know, enter that environment? What are some of the improvements you're noticing, and just the overall outcome of that?
Really, when they see the dogs, you know, the people that do are dog lovers, their face just lights up. You know, they're just so happy to see them. They're just so, you know, and the dogs are the same way. They have attached to our residents. They know, you know, they get excited too. You know, I've talked to some of the handlers, and, you know, the handlers will, you know, say, okay, you know, we're going to Creekside, or, you know, or when they pull up in the parking lot, you know, the dogs are just so excited because, you know, they know where they are. And they know the people, and they know that, you know, they get loved.
Definitely a really unique form of care that you all provide that not a lot of places do. I think that's definitely something that makes you all unique. That is definitely an added bonus.
Yes,
we do have a call I want to go ahead and get to. We have Dan here on line 1. Good evening, Dan.
Hello.
Hi there. Yes, so you're with us on OpenLine tonight. What would you like to talk about?
Yeah, I was just kind of curious, you know, with assisted living, just the aspect of, like, how you kind of handle, I guess, mental health in that sense, or, you know, kind of if you could kind of discuss, too, how, I guess, if you offer some sort of therapy, or...
We actually do. We have a general nurse practitioner. That's the physical, the medication, you know, part or whatever. We also have what we call a psych nurse practitioner. She handles the mental aspect of a lot of our residents, and we also have a therapist that comes in that kind of works with her on different days. That is just like a sit-down therapist that, you know, the residents that can actually just talk. If they need talk therapy, she can sit down and she can talk, just, you know, one-on-one, you know, whatever they need to talk about.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling in, Dan. We really do appreciate that. I think that's a great question, and just you know, in my opinion, I think it's one of those things you do have to balance just as much as you're balancing your physical health.
Right.
You need to keep the mental health in check as well, because
Right.
I mean the two, they go hand in hand.
Right.
And that's something that I think a lot of folks, you know, maybe don't realize when you are maybe caring for a loved one on your own. And that's something I'd like to get to too. Just my personal question here: when you have a family member and you see them, they are beginning, you know, to show signs of dementia or Alzheimer's. What is kind of something to detect or a sign to look for when you think, okay, hey, I may need to see about getting my loved one better care than we can provide? It is one thing to be a caregiver, but it also takes its toll on that person as well. We can only do so much. There comes a point when you realize maybe I need to look into assisted living. So my question is, what are some of the signs we can start looking for to know when we need to maybe turn over our loved ones to a more advanced means of care?
Right, and at Creekside, you know, we try to, and we choose to, we want to not just take care of the resident, we want to take care of the family. We want to make sure that the family is okay, that, you know, their physical, you know, because if they do get burnout, you know, they will get sick. So, you know, we do try and take care of the whole picture of the whole family. Some of the signs, I was actually talking to a family member today that her mother, when she knew something just wasn't right, her mother didn't drink alcohol at all. She never drank before, and then all of a sudden she would go and visit her mother, and she would have wine in the fridge, or, you know, it was something, you know, she's just like, you know, that's not
normal,
not right.
Yeah.
You know, and she would act, you know, differently. You know, she would allow different things to happen when she, you know, it was totally out of character for her, and she had a wreck at one point, and the mother didn't know where she was, or what was going on, or or anything. So she had her checked out.
The signs to look for, they'll vary, I think, with everyone.
Right,
They're
yeah.
different, but
Everybody's
overall,
different.
I think definitely when you start to see just that out of the normal behavior becoming outweighing the normal behavior, that's when you hit that point.
And it could be, you know, if something like that happens and you do see something like that happen, you know, you do need to go take them to the doctor, you know, to get an appointment, because it could very well be just be something simple, you know, that they're saying, you know, they just need an antibiotic, and it could turn around, it could change, or it could be something like that.
All right, our topic tonight, assisted living, here on OpenLine. Ask the Expert tonight on News Channel 5. We're going to pause for a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.